Do you have the card, ma'am?
You have the card? No, don't pay. If you have the card, you can drop it.
Thank you.
Savored with a cool beverage. Working up a sweat with an hours of fun and games. At camp, immersed in a scrumptious spread and warmed over mouth-watering delicacies without relishing the afternoon's love for another. One of South India's largest five-star convention resorts.
ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಅಡ್ಡ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು
ಸಾರಿ ಹಿಂದೆ ಬನ್ನಿ.
Our greatest reward is making your experience unforgettable.
ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡೋಣ ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಮೊಬೈಲ್
Escape from Bangalore's busyness. Quality family time at Class Exotica Convention Resort and Spa. From the moment you step into the station, indulge in luxurious rooms that promise unbeatable comfort.
ಹಿಂದೆ ಬರೋಣ ಹಿಂದೆ ಬರೋಣ
Ready for this, the Clark Exotica Convention Resort and Spa, Bangalore's premier 5-star destination for life and
has a history of over 600 years, and the heritage are managing the temple as spiritual heads of the temple. So I have found one duty is to preside over all the special rituals and special festivals of the temple, and another is social.
I wish
Blessings of Dharmadhikari, Reverend Dr. Virendra Hegde and Hemavati Hegde, Honorable Finance Minister Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman ji, Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka Shri B.S. Skdrdp ji, Professor Larry Reid, dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. Birth anniversary of great visionary Mahatma Gandhi ji. He propagated 18 virtues for the wellness of the human beings. Today, in this forum, as we discuss about the empowerment, Mahatma Gandhi becomes very relevant. My organization, Skdrdp, Shri Skdrdp Rural Development Project, under the leadership of dynamic Dr. Virendra Hegde, has tried to implement all the 18 virtues espoused by Mahatma. Skdrdp has applied holistic approach for transformation of the community. We have brought banking facilities at the doorsteps of the people. Skdrdp has also tried to change the mindset of the people for creating a healthy living environment. By using technology and social inputs, we have tried to create a new ecosystem where poor people walk shoulder to shoulder with the more developed in the community. Our leader, Dr. Virendra Hegde, believes that there is a great scope for spreading this model to other parts of the world. Skdrdp would also like to share the processes that we have developed with other like-minded institutions. We would also like to invite banks and insurance companies for creating a synergy between the institutions of service providers and mainstream institutions. We are organizing this conference with the twin objectives of scaling the Skdrdp model and taking the SHG movement to the next level of micro-enterprise creation. On this auspicious occasion, we have today with us the Honorable Finance Minister, Government of India, Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman. Mrs. Skdrdp is a postgraduate in economic science and has worked in the UK for several years. She came back to India with a vision for development of the country, and rightly so, she chose to join the political stream so that her knowledge could be put to use at macro level. She has an extensive ministerial experience, having worked as the Minister for Commerce and Minister for Defence before becoming the Honorable Finance Minister in the Union Government of India. We are humbled by her presence. The new government has been recently formed at the center. The women in the SHG sector have great expectations from the Honorable Finance Minister of the country. Madam, we welcome you on behalf of the organizing committee and all of us assembled here. I request Mrs. Shraddha Amit to do the honors for Mrs. Sitharaman, please. We have amidst us the Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, Shri B.S. Skdrdp. He is the true saint. The Honorable Chief Minister has graced this occasion and has inaugurated the exhibition just now. I welcome you, sir, very warmly, and I request Mr. Anand Suvarna to do the honors to Mr. Skdrdp. I request a big clap from this audience, please. We have the visionary of Skdrdp, Dr. D. Virendra Hegde, who is the Dharmadhikari of Shri Skdrdp Manjunatha Swami Temple of Dharmasthala. He has visualized this holistic transformation and tirelessly worked for 52 years for the empowerment and emancipation of the poor. Sir, on behalf of the organizing committee and all those who have gathered here, I respectfully welcome you for the function and request Mr. Ramaswamy, the President of the State Janajagriti Forum, to honor Dr. Hegde. I warmly welcome Srimati Hemavati Hegde, the force behind the many schemes of Dr. Virendra Hegde. A warm welcome to Hemavati Amma. I request Akshata to to do the honors for Hemavati Amma. Across the globe, the Research Education Trust has provided a platform to the microfinance institutions. It has been arranging dialogues across the world to bring practitioners and policymakers on the same table. We are extremely happy that the current chairman of the Research Education Trust, Mr. Larry Reid, a very learned person, is here with us to deliver the keynote. I welcome you, Mr. Reid, and request Mr. Shreyas Kumar to do the honors to Mr. Reid. Today we have Mr. Sushil Kumar, Managing Director, Life Insurance Corporation of India. Life Insurance Corporation is the biggest insurance company in the world in terms of the client outreach. A very warm welcome to you, sir. I request Mahavirajri to do the honors to Sushil Kumar ji. We have amidst us the Managing Director of Syndicate Bank, Shri Mrutyunjay Mahapatra. I welcome you, sir. I request Mr. Skdrdp Dharwad to do the honors to Mr. Mahapatra ji. We have with us the Executive Director of Bank of Baroda, Shri Murali Ramaswamy. I request Devdas Hebbar to do the honors to Murali Ramaswamy ji. We have Mr. Surya Kumar, Chief General Manager, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, the premier agriculture finance institution in this country. We welcome you, sir, and request Chandrasekhar to do the honors to Mr. Surya Kumar. We have amidst us Mr. Arun Kumar, General Manager, Small Industries Development Bank of India. I warmly welcome you, sir. I request Nagaraj, General Manager, Bank of Baroda, to do the honors to Mr. Arun Kumar. I have to make a special mention here. We have Mr. Aloysius Fernandez, the father of the Indian self-help group movement. Aloysius, please stand up. And I would like Kalyan Sundaram to do the honors for Aloysius. He is the father of Indian self-help group movement and he is from Bangalore. Please give him a big hand. Please stand up. It's a historic moment for Skdrdp. We hope this will pave the way for a new model. We are so much excited that so many of you have come here today to be with us. We have almost 300 delegates from India alone. We have 34 delegates from Bangladesh. We have 10 from Sri Lanka, 11 from Tanzania, 2 from Japan, 1 from the Netherlands, 4 from the Philippines, 2 from the Indonesia, 18 from the Nepal, 7 from Bhutan, and 2 from the United States of America. The 2-day deliberations will have 3 special addresses from Dr. Rangarajam, Sri H.R. Kal, and Dr. Virendra Hegde. There will be 10 panels. We have a packed program for both the days, starting from 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock. I hope I have your cooperation. I welcome all the delegates, all the panelists, and the invitees and the guests and the media for the conference. I pray for the success of this conference. Thank you one and all.
To the main part of the program, I request Honorable Finance picture, and I also request all the dignitaries to join Mr. Sitaraman in the inauguration. Thank you. floral tributes to Mahatma Gandhi. And thank you to Suri Kumar for releasing the book. I request the Puja Dr. Virendra Hegde ji to felicitate Mr. Srinivasan and all.
Dear friends, we have with us Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka Shri P.S. Yediyurappa, people welfare programs under his regime as Chief Minister. He has been always emphasizing for dignified living standards to all, based on which he has framed many farmer-friendly and BPL family welfare programs. He has given prominence for SG movement in Karnataka under Stree Shakti project.
Dr. Shande, delegates from overseas and different parts of India, members of media, and all the distinguished invitees. At the outset, I am very happy to welcome you all to Bangalore, the science and IT capital of India, and above all, Silicon City of the East. I am really honored to be part of this international conference on SDG movement and inaugurate exhibition of different models for development put up by various institutions. Bangalore weather has always been pleasant, and I hope you will enjoy your stay in Bangalore. Under the dynamic leadership of Dr. Virendra Hegde ji, Dharmasala has become a well-known place not only for the pilgrimage value, but also for education, health, naturopathy, yoga, Ayurveda, and development-oriented projects.
They've already given me the honors, so I guess it doesn't matter what I say now. I've already got them. But I do want to, I'm reminded here of a group of anthropologists who were working in the Stone Age parts of Papua New Guinea. And after many years of research, the people of the tribe said, "You've come here investigating us so often, why have you never invited us to your home so we could investigate you?" And so they talked amongst themselves and said, well, it's a fair question. So they organized some funds and they brought the leaders of this group to London to visit London, and they brought them just so they would sort of make the culture shock as big as possible. They immediately flew them into London and then up into the eye of London to see the whole city. And so these men and women were quite surprised, and they looked out and they would say, "What is this building here?" And they would say, "Oh, that's a mutual society that owns that building." And what is this tall building over here? Well, that's a bank. And this one over here, that's an investment house. And this one way down here, what is that? That's St. Paul's Cathedral. And what is this over here? Well, that is the Catholic Church. And they scratched their heads and said, "It's funny, here in this country, your money houses are so much bigger than your spirit houses." And I'm glad to be here in India where money houses and spirit houses can coexist. And where the two groups can talk to each other. Groups have good leadership. And that's what our entire work was in working with the groups in La Laguna and in trust banks throughout the world. We worked to develop leadership in those groups. That meant that the groups learned to draw up their own agenda. They learned to take minutes of their meetings. They learned to refer back to the minutes, to the decisions that they had made. They learned to elect their leaders and to rotate leaders. Someone couldn't hold leadership forever. There were terms, and people changed at the end of terms. That way everyone got the chance to be a leader. And so we facilitated in developing strong leadership, and with strong leadership, strength can emerge from the group. The group can manage its strengths together. A strong leadership can build on what is there in the group, which is the fourth point. Good group work with weaknesses, you start with assets. What is there? What strengths do they bring? How can you use those strengths in order to make the change that they want to see happen? The fifth point about the groups, one of the most important ones, I'll have to see if you've got this already. 4 women of La Laguna that were able to bring the water supply there when the government had not been able to, when the wealthy people of the community had not been able to. Their need, yeah, they needed it. That was probably it. They had the most need. They felt the most pain from not having it. You see, the wealthy could make a workaround. They could have trucks deliver water to their homes. It wasn't efficient. It wasn't as good as having a clean water supply, but they made do with that. And every day they had to queue up at a stream and fill buckets. There's a man by the name of Dr. Paul Brand, born here in India, trained in the UK, came back to work in the leprosy mission. And they couldn't pay attention and stop what was happening that was causing the pain. There are people who feel the pain first. They're the ones we need to listen to. But we have organized, we have deadened our nerves to be able to be sensitive to that pain. We cannot hear it when the poor cry out. It does not affect us, and so therefore for most of us it does not exist. And so we let problems fester and we let them grow until they become overwhelming and until they become damaging to many more. And I think if we have some information we have in society, they are the ones who feel the pain first. They are the ones whose signals we need to listen to. We need to hear what they are saying because they notice how society is going wrong. They're the ones that feel first the problems that we need to start working together to address. But not only do they feel it first, they also have some idea then of what can be done to fix it. And that is why developing leadership within communities of poor people is so important. So their voices can be heard. They feel confident to speak up, to say, this is wrong, I feel pain, and this should not be happening. And here's what I think can be done to stop this pain from occurring. We need to develop good leadership. We need to facilitate that leadership. Let them take the lead. Let them show how the pain is being caused. Let them show us what can be done to alleviate the pain that not only makes them suffer, but makes all of us suffer as well. So what sort of organization will it be, the self-help group promoting organizations that helps foster self-help groups leading the end of extreme poverty? Well, I think there's two key strengths needed in these organizations. Of giving honor to another person, to hear what they have, to validate the pain in our heads. We became colonized. We began to believe the things that they were taught, or we believed old things that were no longer true. So the ashram was a place where people would live a different way of life, a truly independent way of life, a life where people work together in the fields and people learn together in the schools, no matter what your caste, no matter what your family, no matter what your wealth. It was a place where people treated each other with dignity and learned to listen to each other and validate each other's points of view. The same is true for us as we look to end extreme poverty. It is a way of thinking. It is the systems that we have created that allows extreme poverty to exist in our world. And if we want to make a change, if we want to see it end, we need to learn to listen to the people who feel that pain the worst. And we need to give them the platforms in which they can help organize us to bring an end to that sort of poverty. I saw this happening in another country in Latin America, this time the country of Colombia, where there were, you may know about the drug wars that have happened in Colombia in the rural areas. So poor people living in the rural area ended up moving into the city to survive. In this, we had groups of trust banks, working in the city where these refugees had come from the rural areas. And there was one trust bank that had been operating there for 2 years, and the women had done quite well. They'd saved their money together, they invested in their businesses, the businesses had grown, they continued saving money. In fact, they called themselves the Gift of God Trust Bank, because they saw it was God's gift to them to be able to have this group where they could work together to solve some of their...
Ladies and gentlemen, Ellargu Namaskara, which means I bow down to the divinity in you all. I will briefly talk about self-help group movement, which NABARD has been associated since a very long time, and I will talk about Skdrdp very, very briefly. I think all of us know that SHG movement, SHG model came from Karnataka, and this is a result of an action research project which Marada and NABARD conducted in 1987. Let me surprise you once again. When NABARD first wanted to link SHGs to the banks, we had a formidable target of 500 SHGs to be linked to the banks in 1992. From that moment, 27 years after, we have 10 million SHGs, which touch the lives of 120 million households in the country. They have 23 billion rupees of savings. We have 87 billions of loans outstanding to the self-help groups. A formidable achievement in a small period of time. And all these things were possible because of one individual, Dr. C. Rangarajan, the then Governor of Reserve Bank of India, who helped NABARD to spearhead this movement, who saw the power of this idea, who enabled the banks to give money to these organizations which are informal. I think a great thanks to him. We will have an opportunity to see him and hear him tomorrow. NABARD continues to help self-help group movement in various ways. We support for formation of self-help groups, provide micro-enterprises, and provide a market exposure. And let me just give you a small example. Recently, 2 weeks back, we invited 80 self-help groups from 16 states to be here in Bangalore to do a Grameen Habba. So in 5 days, they had a huge contact with the discerning consumers of Bangalore, and they did a sale of 1 crore rupees, 10 million rupees.
And NABARD, I hope I'm not saying something we all know. Whilst I'd like to credit them for what they can claim as achievement, but when you have a social and religious and spiritual leader leading the pack, banks find it absolutely easy to find credible clients, and that is why when NABARD would come and proudly say, well, most of them are returned, there's no worry, it's because of that. The presence of the Dharma. I'm not being harsh on our own institutions, but our own institutions also should recognize that social leaderships, religious leaderships, and spiritual leaderships all combined together do give you that institutional strength that you're looking for, particularly when government comes up with loans like Mudra, where initial hesitation among institutions would be, oh my God, look at this, government wants to give loans without security. Banks are finished. No, banks are not finished. Banks can come today and stand before you to say, it's successful, people are returning the money, poverty alleviation is being cleverly addressed, so it works. So the banks, together with social leadership, are able to bring the social transformation which governments plan and which Prime Minister Modi dreams of, becomes very effective, especially when you have leaders who have that kind of an influence on the people who actually matter to the country. And there, singularly, the credit goes to the Dharmadika. And that is where such leadership, if present in other states, and I'm sure there are several such social leaders.
Inspiring words. You are really motivated of this great event. Thank you, madam. Now moving further, Skdrdp is implementing for the last 1 year Prayas project of City, and I request all the dignitaries to witness this. Thank you, sir. Should be in the direction of development. The uniqueness of Dr. Hegde is that is to get in close touch with the society. He is always on the side that always have the ground reality while designing the developmental plans. Friends, we have come to the most important part of this.
Globally, the biggest public sector insurance company, to Sri T.C. Sushil Kumar, who has been proactive in implementing many micro-insurance programs, has graced this occasion. Thank you. The Executive Director of the Bank of Baroda, Sri Murali Ramaswamy, is also with us. For us, Bank of Baroda means the old Vijaya Bank, which I was the director for some time in 60s. Although Mrs. Sitharaman has merged our bank with Bank of Baroda, the relationship has remained. We have today with us Mr. Surya Kumar, Chief General Manager NABARD, Bangalore, and also Mr. Anup Kumar, General Manager of SIDBI. I acknowledge the help given by all of you for the conference and also for gracing this occasion. Dr. Harish Hande, who has helped us so much through Selco Foundation for the conference, is also here. The other sponsors for our programs are also here today. So many of you have traveled from various parts of the globe to be part of this conference. We hope that you will enjoy our hospitality, and few of you are visiting Dharmasala after this conference. I welcome you to visit the place, and also hopefully I will be there to host you. Our media partners have given us good support. I thank all of you for making this inaugural program a grand success. I wish on behalf of me, my wife, Hemavati, and all the trustees of Skdrdp. It's great success for this conference, and I pray Manjunath Swami to bless us all, to bless the conference deliberations in the next 2 days, and continued activity in the field for the benefit of humanity. May God.
Yes, sir. Dear friends, now we have a surprise for you. I request you to hold your